Hey y'all, happy Sunday. Oh my gosh, back to back, back to back. I was live yesterday, as y'all know, talking to Leroy Adams, who is the editor of the Buddy Pass magazine. And then today I have Stephanie Perry and Roshida Dowe of the Exodus Summit to chat about move abroad money, which is why I'm wearing the green. The green is about the money, right? So want to say hello, drop, let me know you can hear and see me. That would be fantastic. I think Winnie can. Hey, Winnie, how are you? Hey, hey again. Yes, yes, yes. So today is a fabulous day. Some of you might be, hey, all right, everybody's coming in. I see it now. Awesome, awesome. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, I know some of y'all have um, been with me for a couple hours already because earlier this afternoon we were able to enjoy a free Kiswahili lesson with Resplendence Language Arts. We have Blaxit Global has a partnership with them. I know many people, as they prepare for their move abroad, are considering taking another language, myself included. I'm taking European Portuguese. And then for a lot of us, right, when we were in school, we were learning, Spanish or Italian or French. And oftentimes these language platforms like Duolingo do not serve African languages. And even if your Blaxit doesn't take you to Africa, you may have a calling on your heart to connect to the motherland. And what better way to do that but through language? So I'm really excited about this partnership for those that are signing up for classes with them. And they also have children classes, kids classes too, and books. And so Blaxit Global community members will get a 15% discount. So the Kiswahili class starts on October 16th. And definitely just wanted to pass that along to y'all. Okay, the chat is lighting up. I'm gonna say hi, 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 because I know we are all about this money, money, money. And I want to bring on the fabulous ladies because I know they joined me around this time last year, right? And we were talking about, Exodus homecoming, and it is that season. It is my favorite time of the year. So, without further ado, let me just make sure I'm seeing everybody. Hello, 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 everybody. Orletta, Greta, Sunshine, Crank It Up Coach, Patty, Shauna. I'm looking down. Let's see. Denise. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, yes, you can, Marcus. Hey, hello. You can submit questions. Just put a Q because I know there's a lot of people in the chat and I want to make sure that I get to any questions. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up the wonderful ladies. Here we are, Stephanie Perry and Rashida Dow. Hello, hello,
Hey,
hello.
Prince. Hey, Krishan.
Hey, how are you?
Wonderful. We're really excited to talk to you. Hi, guys.
Hey, hey, everybody, right?
Hey,
So
everybody.
I feel like I don't need to do any big introduction, but for those that may not know who you both are, I'll give y'all a quick second to introduce yourselves to the people, but then we're going to dive right into this money magic.
All right, let's do it. I'm Stephanie Perry. I'm a house sitter. I'm the creator of House Sitter School. I bop around as a nomad, kind of a digital nomad. I believe in working as little as possible and and embracing ease in all things. And I partner with the wonderful Roshida Dowe on Exodus Summit. Hi, guys.
And that's me. I'm the wonderful Roshida Dowe. I am a career break coach. I help Black women quit their jobs and go live their best lives or take a break from their jobs and go live wherever they want to do, wherever their happiness takes them. I help them get there. So I'm super excited about Exodus Summit because it's our time. It's our time of the year. It's our special season where we really get to um, talk to so many Black women, whether they are speakers at our summit or whether they're attendees at our summit. We really get our hands on with our audience, and
Yeah.
so this is it. This is my Christmas.
It is.
It is.
And my
now the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah. Everything rolled into one. Yes.
Agreed.
Yes. And I know, like, as much as you ladies embrace ease, that this is a busy season for you both, but the impact is tremendous. And I love this year's focus. Move abroad money. Because I mean, we know you can move abroad, you can decide to move abroad, but at the end of the day, you got to have that money, right? You got to have that moolah. So I'm so excited, that we're diving into this topic, because one of the things that I love about what you're doing now and since then is that you are looking at like a wide spectrum of the ways in which you have helped Black women either make money, or ways in which people who have been inspired by all the work that you're doing with Exodus Summit have been able to take career sabbaticals and travel the world and come up with inventive ways. So let's dive right on into it.
Yes, let's go.
Yes. So what do you think? Let's start with one of my favorite topics, in addition to money, is mindset. What do you think, and either of you can take this one, what do you think is the biggest challenge or stumbling block as people start to think about either ways to make money or how much it takes to move abroad?
I think a lot of people think that the thing they do now is not going to take them abroad. And so they're going to have to start from zero and start earning money from $0 in order to get to this new life, this new dream life. They forget totally about the skill set they have. They forget totally about the contacts and connections that they have and the network that they have. And they just think, oh, it's too much. It's too much. I'm going to have to start from zero. I'm a social worker. I work with clients face to face. If I want to move abroad, I'm going to have to start from zero. And so it's just too much. It's not going to work. I don't have the bandwidth to try to figure out something from scratch. Well, you don't have to start from scratch. You have like we said, you have a skill set. You have a list of contacts. You have a network that can probably translate to some money that you can make either online or something, I don't know, online or through like investments, something that you can do without having to be physically present in the place you don't want to be physically present anymore.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah.
And Roshida, you look like you wanted to say something.
And a lot of people who don't have random. But today in my video, when I went live this morning, I said that, I was corrected quickly, but I said that Black people don't play racquetball because I am not familiar with Black people who play racquetball. I was quickly corrected by my audience, who was like, no, we play racquetball. I think it sounds like it's an East Coast and a Midwest thing, but like, no, we play racquetball. We play, there are some regional places, people who were like, no, we don't either. Black people are like, we play racquetball. And it's the same kind of thing that happens all over your life. If you don't see someone doing it, it's hard to imagine it being done. And this not only comes into play with moving abroad. So people think that like, oh no, that's not for us, right? Like, born in America, die in America. But it's often, we can't do it because I don't have the money. It's going to cost too much. I don't have the money. I'm not rich. I can't do it. No. Or I'm a nurse and nurses can't get jobs over something like that. Like whatever I do, I'm a therapist and I can't get jobs over something, right? And so people think that their job isn't transferable. That's right. And while the core of what you do, to Stephanie's point, might be true, but like you cannot take your nursing degree overseas without doing a little tweak, taking a test, doing something. In a lot of cases, the core skill set you have may be more transferable. And so we want to show them the Black people playing racquetball around the world, right? Like that's what we want for them. Because like I said this morning, I was convinced Black people don't play racquetball. Don't play racquetball. What is this? What are you talking about?
Handball.
Child, they were in my comments like, we do. My daddy, Stephanie does. Stephanie plays
They,
racquetball.
yeah, they were
Wow,
like,
okay.
I do. Mm-hmm.
They were like, no, we play racquetball. And I was like, okay, sometimes it takes seeing it to know it's
Mhm.
possible. That's part of the mindset thing we're trying to make sure people know about, and they are introduced to.
Mhm.
There are other ways to make money than what you're doing right now. And just because you haven't seen someone doing it doesn't mean it's not available to you. So what we're going to do is help you see it. We're going to show you someone playing racquetball up and down these streets, so you know you can do it too.
Yes, because half the battle is in the mind, right? If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. And so I think for a lot of people, and I love how you were talking about like being able to transfer your skills, because so many, I'm not going to say it's a US thing, because I know it exists in other cultures, mostly Western cultures, right? Capitalism is a bitch. But we are so wedded to our titles
Yeah.
and our jobs. And I was talking about it a little bit yesterday on my live with Leroy yesterday, so much so that it comes through in the language that we use, that our identity is so married and fixed that when there's a break, especially if it's an involuntary break, a lot of people, myself included, I went through those, right? You go through a bevy of emotions, but in the language we use, oh, my office, my job, my boss, my manager. So we have this ownership. And so it is so difficult because it's so wedded to our identity.
Yeah.
But one of the things that for me was like the big shift was, well, when I die, they're not going to put my title on that tombstone, right? They're going to put, who I was to the people who were most important in my life, right? And to your point, it's like, being able to look beyond the title, beyond your office environment to who am I? What skills do I possess? What lights me up? What are the things that I do that either light me up in my role, or the passions that I would love to pursue, but I don't have an outlet because I'm in this box that they put me in? And I want to be able to leverage that, or can I even leverage that in another country?
That's right.
Right. So randomly,
Yeah.
random story. When I was in Buenos Aires, I went to the cemetery where Evita is buried, and it's hoity-toity, lots of rich people buried there. And one guy's tombstone said, "Friend of the Ford company," like the U.S. Ford company. And I was like, something ain't right, right? Like, I don't know.
Wait a minute.
I feel like that is saying a lot.
Yes.
Something ain't right about like your tombstone. It didn't say like beloved anything. It was like friend of the Ford company, and I was like,
Wow.
I have questions I'm not gonna ask. If they putting company names on the tombstone,
He was
probably
like the original LinkedIn, right? He's like,
right.
I'm
Like
gonna
I
tell
was
you
like,
who I was linked to forever.
I
Okay.
mean, what kind of dirty work were you doing for Ford that they felt? I was like, this ain't right. This ain't right.
Wow. That is wild. That is wild. So there's the exception.
And it doesn't look right. It looks like
Strange.
you ain't got people.
Nobody.
Did you die on the factory floor? Like how did this
Exactly.
friend of the Ford company? I was like, Henry got some splaining to do. This ain't I know
It's true. It's like your title is not on your tombstone. Your net worth isn't on your tombstone, right? And the reason why I mention that is because so many people feel that the number that they need to move, or oh, I can't move because I need this number, right? That oftentimes they won't speak the number.
Yes.
To move, or I need to stay because I need X amount in my retirement in order to move. And again, not speaking the number. So you might say, oh, because of where I live and how I live now, I need 10 million, 25 million. Oh, I can never retire. When in actuality, that could be very different.
right.
Right.
And people rarely do the math.
No, that's right. You don't know the number.
We find out all the time that people don't do the math, or they do the math and it's all like worst case scenarios. Like they are living a life they don't want to live now. They are stuck living a life they don't want to live today because they're planning the worst case scenario for their future. And I'm like, what if you let go of some of this, like, of the today, and had some hope and some faith in your future? But it's not going to be the absolute most terrible thing, because today sucks. Like, could today be a little bit better if you had more faith that your future wasn't going to be nothing but like death and destruction? Because people are always like, oh, inflation, oh, everything's going to cost so much more, I need to say, I need to save. I hear it all the time. People are like, oh, people are retiring with only $1 million. Couldn't be me. And I'm like, you hate your job. You hate your job.
Yeah. It's like, do you have $1 million? Because $1 million is life changing.
Right? Like, would you do something differently today if you had $1 million? Or would you still be like, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. You never know what's going to happen. And I'm like, I know today you hate your job.
Yeah.
I know today you don't want to go to work. But, whatever.
So keeping on that, right? The job and everything. And some of the, you talked about inflation, right? We have inflation going on. The US isn't immune. Recession, right? Talks of recession. Look, now they're talking about a global recession. I guess the CEO of FedEx kind of kicked that ball into motion earlier this week, and the market dropped tremendously. And so do you find that either people in, the communities that you're in or dealing with are either delaying their plans, or do you find that people have a greater sense of urgency with, those are the biggest things that people are talking about right now?
I don't know. I don't know that we see our women delaying their plans. I think that they're just coming up with some alternatives. Some backups, some backups, and some like I think women now see how important it is to not have your income tied to a job, or at least not your sole income tied to a job. But I don't know that the whether or not the I don't know if financial reports are going to change Black women's desire to make a move, because when markets are good, when markets are bad, Black women still want to make this change. Yeah, so I don't know. I haven't heard anyone say, "Oh, but if they do say that we're in a recession, I'm not going to go." I think it's more about let's make sure I know how to make some money. Once you know how to make some money, you feel a lot freer. Once you know how to make money apart from a job, right?
Oh yeah.
How to make money aside from a job, you feel a lot freer to just try new things.
Oh, for sure. And the internet affords like the easiest path, because it's like low barrier to entry. You don't have to have like this whole like storefront, low startup costs. And, once you kind of figure out, and you make that first dollar, that first 10, whatever, you're like, oh, wait a minute. And it's like, okay, you get, those atta girls, and you just get out there and you start making more, and then you get the snowball. So I want to definitely, because I see like the chat is lighting up. And so I want to take a minute to visit the chat. And, I know y'all are having fun in there, and I can't wait to read all of these too. But if you have a question for Roshida and Stephanie, please put a Q in front of your comment or question, so at least I can separate that from the chat roll, because y'all are just having some really, really wonderful conversations over here.
They get in the chats and just they commune with each other. It's
exactly, and I'm here for it. I love it. But I definitely don't want to miss anybody's question. And so one of the things, so Angela was saying that she agrees with identity via one's profession is a toxic American mindset that we must detox from. Yes. True. And so, and BJM said, I did my math and said, girl, what are you waiting for? Do it now. And I did. Yes.
It's surprising how many people just don't know. They don't have the end goal. They don't have that dollar figure yet. Some people, you're there. You just don't know it yet.
And a lot of people are saving until they have enough, without defining what enough is. So there's no end to the saving, right? There's no, if whatever you're saving for, if you don't know what enough is, there's no finish line.
Yes.
You're just in it. The ball is getting bigger, but for what? For when? What is going to make you change? And that's why one of our sessions at the summit is about how much is enough. Our dear friend Adelia is going to be, Picky Girl Travels is going to be hosting that session about how much money is enough to live your dream. How do you determine what amount of money is good for whatever it is you want to do? That's right. So that's one of our very few sessions that are not about making money. Most of our sessions, we're doing one about that, and we're doing one on expat taxes with Katrina Haynes.
Yay! Yeah,
I know, she's a friend of the channel. And so, if past those two sessions, I think everything else is about different income streams. But those are the two that are not necessarily about making money, but they're about keeping money and knowing when you have enough money, right? Which are also two important things.
And a penny saved is a penny earned.
Yes.
That's Stephanie Perry. A penny saved is a penny to spend.
Yes, so it counts. Those sessions count.
It does, because the taxes are important. You don't get to avoid that. As Americans, moving abroad does not stop Uncle Sam from asking for his money. But also, like you were saying, Roshida, about having enough. And there's a report about that. Like, it doesn't matter almost how much money you make, right? More money doesn't make you happy. That's right. So you can think of a time when you were starting your career or working a job and you were making X, and then you moved up and it was an extra whatever. And then were you happier? Right. And even when you get to that, there's always something else. And so you keep starting to chase that next whatever threshold is. It's like, oh, wow, 10,000 was great. Okay, I thought if I made an extra 10,000, well, 20 would be better, 50. And then next thing you know, all that time, you could have been somewhere else. And even too, and I know some people, I'm looking at the chat where, they have a longer time that they have, maybe 2024 or further out. I want to say to those people, look, I've been on this train for, I say the train because I'm not yet on the plane. I've been on this train, since I finally declared it in 2017, right? And so now we are in 2022 and my year is 2023. The benefit of it was all of those cycle changes and being able to pressure test the plan and set goals. And again, it's an evolution, but it is definitely a marathon and not a sprint, because what you want to do is be abroad, if that is your desire, to stay abroad, right? It is not to be a flash in the pan, go abroad, not be prepared or equipped financially, and then it's like, oop, full stop, right? These women are here to tell you and to empower you with the tools, the resources, the plan to help you get from where you are now to where you want to be.
That's right. That's right.
Go ahead, Steph.
No, go ahead, Roshida.
I was going to push back a bit on money doesn't buy happiness. I don't think money in itself doesn't buy happiness, but the lifestyle changes you can put into effect with money. Why is a little relief, a little joy, right? Like, if you can go from having to do everything yourself to maybe hiring someone to come in and help with something, whether that's cooking or cleaning or whatever it is for your family, that creates relief. But if you're just chasing money for the sake of money and not doing anything different, right, that's not going to bring you happiness. But if you're smart, and when you get more money, you find a way to buy back your time and your joy. Yeah. That's what brings you happiness.
That's right.
Oh, absolutely. And even as part of my Blaxit budget, I'm enjoying all the things that I'm looking forward to taking off my plate. I'm like, oh, Bailey's getting a dog walker.
Yes.
Right. Right. Oh, yes. Krishan's going to be going to the spa more often. I mean, when I was in Bali in July, I went to the spa 4 times in a week. I don't even go to the spa 4 times in a year. But honey, that exchange rate, woohoo! was having fun. I was like, ooh, the newest member of the Soft Life.
Yes. Feeling all relaxed.
I was like, wait, you saw my post, right? I was like, it's yacht o'clock. Oh, we got out here. Oh, okay. But you're right. Oh, there's, because I said the dog's name a little too loud.
Here it
And
comes.
she just like, is it my turn to say hi to the people? No, it is not, Bailey. You just say your butt downstairs. Anyway, let me jump back in because when the three of us get together, we just giggle and we have so much fun.
We have
But
fun. Krishan is hungry. Okay, so we're not gonna have Krishan pass out on screen. Okay.
right, exactly. I was like, let me take a little smoothie. That's a whole me. But yeah, that session is going to be great. And I had the pleasure of spending 3 days with Miss Adelia last week when we were at No Madness Fest together. And so I was able to finally meet my girl in person.
That's so nice.
Yeah, we had fun. So we have some questions. Oh, what do the ladies now know that they wish they knew before about the money? So what do you know now that you wish you knew before about the money? I think Roshida kind of touched on it a little bit about the number.
I wish I knew that what you said earlier about like chasing the money for the sake of money isn't going to make a difference, right? Titles for the sake of titles aren't going to make a difference. Like it's what you do with the money, which as I'm saying it, I know comes from a place of privilege, right? Because if the difference is $0 a month versus $1,000 a month, that's a significantly bigger difference than $5,000 a month versus $6,000 a month, right? So there is, once you get past basic human needs, plus a little bit, I'm gonna give you a little bump on that, right? Once you get past that, it's really important to be intentional about the life you're building and what you're working for. Why are you earning this money? What kind of life do you want to live? Instead of saying like, just working for the next promotion, hoping to get a bonus, right? Like if you're working for the next promotion, if you're hoping to get a bonus and you hate your job, you're wasting your years, right? Yeah. What I wish I knew then that I know now is that there's another way to get to the money. No matter what you're doing today, there's another way to get to the money. And so if you're doing something you hate, find another way to get to the money.
Same. I wish I had known. So I thought that I was going to have to work really hard to make the money. I thought I was going to have to work really hard to make money to live my dream. I was a hospital pharmacy technician. And when I went and traveled for a year, I didn't want to come back to that. So I'm like, well, let's figure out how to make some money online. And I was tied to this idea that I was going to have to work really hard to make money online to live my dream. I was probably 43 before I realized hard work and money didn't go together. They don't go together, right? And I was tied to a specific thing. I tried some different types of work online to try to make what I thought I needed to make to live, or what I did need to make to live. And then once I released myself from working hard, which only lasted a little while. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. Okay. My hard work phase only lasted for a little while. But once I released myself from that and was like, well, let me find another way to make money. I found out that hard work and money they don't go together. You don't have to work yourself to the bone, hours of the day and over weeks and months and years. There is such a thing as making money doing things that you really enjoy, right? I make money helping people become house sitters, right? And I have probably 4 or 5 different income streams from helping people become a house sitter. That it does not require me to wake up too early, to go to bed too late, right? It doesn't require me to be physically in pain. My body is refreshed when I wake up in the morning. So I wish I had earlier understood that hard work and money they didn't go hand in hand. That what you know and what you can do can help you make the money to live your life without you being exhausted and, sad all the time.
That is true, because people think about it, right? We're having this conversation, it is Sunday, right? And it was I don't even forget what the terminology is for like the sad
Sunday scaries.
the Sunday scaries, right? I mean, there's a term for it, right? Because it's a psychological thing that happens, because a lot of people dread, where they're working, and it's only been exacerbated through the pandemic. We talked about, everybody was talking about, the great resignation, which is now evolved into quiet quitting. And it's like the undercurrent is that people are making the money, right? They may or may not be able to pay their bills, right, to the capacity in which they would like. But the reality of it is that a lot of people are in toxic workplace environments, or they're not being fulfilled, or they're, overlooked, overworked. And so they're over it.
Yes.
And so to the extent that you can say, hey, I'm tired of this, I want to break free from the matrix and design a life that I don't want to run away from, that I want to run towards, is important. And, what I love about, you both is that, it's like been able to kind of take a step back and say, okay, this hamster wheel, this matrix that we've been existing in has not been working for us, right? We've been toiling, we've been getting the education, we've been doing everything that we thought we were supposed to do or were told that we should do. And yet we're either getting to the place and the yardstick moves, or we get to the place and we're so exhausted that we can't even enjoy it.
Yeah, we see that too often, particularly among Black women, right? We see that too often, but it's a new day, right? It's a new day. 2020 really there was a real shift. Like there was a real change that rippled throughout, throughout the world, that gave people an idea of a new way, right? Even if they don't yet know what the new way is, they know that there is a new way, and they're not gonna stop until they find that. They're not gonna go back to the old way.
Oh yeah, the always gone. So I want to get into the summit, and then I know that there's some of these questions will probably be answered in when I'm looking at the chat roll. Let's talk about the summit this year, because it's a nice little segue. So the summit is for Black women, and this year's focus is all about the money. I can't sing, y'all, but that's okay. That's why I'm a podcaster. I love this year's focus. And so I kind of hinted at it earlier. And I know, like, I don't think y'all are going to tell me something I'm not supposed to know yet. So, like,
I have something to tell you.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm like, am I going to get a Blaxit Global exclusive? I don't know. But of the people that you have announced, what are some of the things that we have to look forward? Or for the people who have not yet bought their ticket, reminder, it is scrolling across the screen, the URL, and I've dropped it in the chat. But what can people expect? Oh, cashing out. Hey, that's on our list. Kirsten, yes.
Hi, friends. Our good friend Kirsten. I'm always backwards. I never know where I am.
Yes.
Kirsten.
And Julian.
Kirsten. Kirsten. To talk. We leaving Julian at home. Kirsten is coming to talk to the audience. It was not just us. Kirsten said he can't come.
She said he can't come. That's right.
She understands.
She understands the assignment.
She understands the assignment at all times.
Yes.
Black women for Black women. So Kirsten is coming to give our keynote.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're so excited.
That is so awesome.
We're so excited. Yes, Kirsten from Rich and Regular is doing the keynote to talk to us about what her book is about, cashing out. Like, how do you know when to take your ball and go, right? When do you take your prize and use it, enjoy it, live?
Yes,
exactly. There's no clear exit ramp unless you create it, unless you make it. So she's our keynote speaker. We're super excited. She's going to talk about that. we also have your audience and you. So Krishan has been super helpful in getting us some amazing speakers at Exodus Summit 2022. So make sure that you use her link to get your ticket, right? Her link to get your ticket, because that will give her a little compensation. It's not going to cost you anything extra. It gives Krishan a little compensation in order to thank her for the wonderful people that she has introduced us to, including Jolene GC, which we're also super excited to have speaking at the summit this year. Jolene is talking about trading, and about trading in a way that aligns with your lifestyle and your desired lifestyle, right?
Yes.
How not to be a trader who is doing day trading in a way that is wearing you out, right? Exhausting you, stressing you out. How can you be a trader? How can you be an investor without being and have that aligned with the life you envision for yourself, right? You know, leisure is Joanne GC's word, right?
Yes,
leisure is
leisure.
If you're moving towards leisure, if you're moving towards ease, how can you be an investor? She's coming to, the answer is yes, but can you be an investor? Can you be a trader and have these as your core values, right? And operate within those core values. We're very excited about that session.
Yeah. There, I'm loving how this is like shaping up. Jolene GC, for those of you who are not familiar, she is a co-producer, co-creator of the Come Up series. You can see that on YouTube. And again, Kirsten and her husband, Julian, are the Rich and Regular. They have an awesome podcast. I listen to it every Monday. They also have a wonderful YouTube channel and the book, which was on the Blaxit Global summer reading list. So y'all, this is going to be an amazing, amazing summit. But, I mean, these are some heavy hitters that y'all got coming to the stage. You both in your own right, heavy hitters coming to the stage. Yes. And then there's some topics that are, out of the ordinary, but equally extraordinary.
I think she's talking about
Texas.
Yes, we will be talking about taxes. Yes. we will be a session about creating courses. Thank you for asking.
Listen, this is a virtual summit where our speakers who make money doing a thing are coming in to teach you how to do a thing. Okay. Yes. And some of these things are life changing. Yes. Some of the amounts of money that some of the women can make will be life changing. Yes. Some of these sessions maybe are things that you hadn't thought about,
but you can do.
Change your life.
Yeah. And we made sure, but this is not you ever get those like flowers that look like, I always end up saying something shady and I'm sorry in advance. You get those you see those online like Canva productions that look like club flyers, and they're like, come learn from these 5 people, and they're all people who make money by teaching other people how to make money online. Yes. And you don't know if they're actually making money doing the thing, but they're making money from teaching how to do the thing. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Yep. Ain't no club flyers here, right? Like we brought people who we know are making money from doing the thing, right? Yes. If they show you, right, that they got a Gucci bag full of cash, the Gucci bag full of cash came from doing the thing, not teaching how to do the thing, except for the courses person, because that's, she's teaching, she's doing the thing, showing you how to do the thing, right? That's right. But that's what we want. We want women to leave the summit saying, I learned how to do 16 new things. Now I'm only going to try to do one of them, maybe 2, right? Mm-hmm. But like, if I wanted to, I could have 10 new income streams, because I know these women didn't just come and say, I wrote a book, buy a book, right? Well, we don't expect more from Kirsten because she's a keynote. She's not one of the top speakers we're talking about, but that's not what it's going to be from anybody. It's not going to be like, I made $1 million making courses, and you can too if you buy my course, right? Like that's not what this is.
No. So the session that our audience is so there are a few, but one of the sessions that our audience is most excited about is virtual phone sex and feet pics.
I love it.
Black women are so underrepresented in these worlds. We have learned from our speakers. Black women are very underrepresented in these worlds, and men are throwing cash at Black women in the phone sex world and in the selling feet pics world. Like showering them with money.
Wow.
Our speaker, hold up, our speaker.
I'm like digesting this.
From selling her feet, pictures of her feet.
You're already sitting down. You're sitting down, but sit down more. Sit down more, Krishan. Hold on to
everybody.
Hold on to the desk. Because and hold on, Roshida, but she didn't just tell us, she sent us the receipts. She sent us
we have screenshots of the income.
Okay.
In 2 years.
2 years.
Made $600,000. Now you can do math. I don't know if you do math on camera. I don't. I'm gonna tell you.
With the feet. 2 years, $600,000
from feet pictures.
So,
right? I'm gonna have my notebook. Like, what color should my toenails be?
Yes, exactly. So to that gets to Jazzy's question: what's the quickest way to start making money? Sell a
get a pedicure. No, and we know this isn't for everybody, but that's why we have so many ways. Like, I know that phone sex isn't for me, so I'm not like I love a speaker who's going to be doing it. I know she's going to give lots of information, but I don't want to talk to men.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. But when you talked about the phone sex, remember, I'm gonna date myself, but hey, who cares? In the 90s, no, it was like, in the 90s, when we had the actual voice recorder, when you leave an answering machine message, and I know I wasn't the only one that had your favorite song playing in the background, right? Like you reach and don't you know, a couple times people said, you have the voice to be a phone sex.
Listen.
What?
I love your voice.
Go to session, see if there's a way to do it where you don't have to actually talk to them. Right? Like maybe there's like a pre-recorded, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've heard there may be a pre-recorded kind of
script.
You get a script, you read a script, possibly. Come to the session and find out. I know I'm not invested in men's pleasure, so I would be like, what do you want?
Some men right? Some men may want you to be like, what do you want?
Our foot person today said, if you're over 45, become a dom, become a virtual dom. These men want older women to tell them what to do.
Abuse them. They want you to abuse them.
My mama in the background. She's been quiet this whole time.
Y'all wasn't ready. Y'all wasn't expecting this conversation today.
Now she got something to say. Here now. She ain't said nothing. Now she's about to get her OnlyFans. Like
that's what she said. They want you to. And then Danny, both of our speakers. So Danny told us that last year, right? They pay her very well to treat them very poorly over the phone. Yes.
There's more than that, though. There's more. We have people. Stephanie's teaching a class on YouTube. I'm teaching a class on making money from what you already know. Like whatever ways you can make money from what you already know, but aren't courses. Whatever sessions do we have, Steph?
We have a session on getting raises. The speaker's business is called Getting Black Women Paid. And so I keep saying that, but that's not the name of the session, but something like that. 3 steps to getting Black women paid, I think, right? How to negotiate where you are, right? We're not starting from zero. So how to negotiate from where you are. We have a session on breaking into tech. Some of us just need to move to a different industry, take our same skill set, but take it out of social services. I'm sorry to pick on social services, but I know a lot of y'all are ready to go, right? Take it out of social services, take it out of education, move it into tech where the money resides, right? So we have a session on breaking into tech. We're not starting from zero. You don't have to, she's not going to tell you step 1, learn how to code. Seriously. She's going to tell you step 1, evaluate your skills. I think get your resume together. She's going to teach you this kind of thing, how to take your existing skill set and move into tech. Of course, we have a session with Libria Jones on finding remote work and finding truly remote, like work. We don't care where you are in the world, work from anywhere jobs. How do you find remote jobs so that you can be wherever you want in the world? Because that feels good. That's free.
Yeah. We have, I just went to my list to make sure, but something I wanted to talk about was, we forgot about our real estate ones. We haven't mentioned them in a while. We have
Airbnb
on investing in real estate without being a landlord.
Ooh.
Not everybody wants to be a landlord.
No. That's usually the first reason, like, oh, I can't, I don't want, right? Well, maybe you can.
We have a session. One of our speakers started Airbnb-ing out her home while she was on vacation, only on vacation. And the first year she made $50,000 just on vacation for half a year. The second year she made $100,000. Only she has children who were in school. So like vacations during the summer and spring break,
holiday breaks,
and Thanksgiving, and that's it.
And that's it. Her home, not a home she rented, not an investment property, not her home, $50,000 in the first year.
A game changer right there.
Game changer.
Yeah, and it goes back to what you were saying about like things that don't require a lot of labor. Yes, of course, you have to do the pictures and all that stuff, but like hard work, where backbreaking work or hours in front of a computer, right, into your eyes bleed. Like these are things that, you're putting the required amount of effort, but the yield, right, is crazy. $600,000, feet pics. Taking your house on Airbnb when you're on vacation can now pay for vacations for a couple years, right?
It's here. So our speaker is here. Hey, Pam.
Pam!
The first time she did it, she was like someone else who came from Krishan. Pam.
Oh, I didn't know that. I missed that.
Yes. Pam was on here, I think when I launched the channel.
Yes.
Pam
said she was on the first time. I think one of her first time Airbnb, she was on vacation and people kept booking it and they were acting right. So she was like, let's extend the vacation. Imagine she in Africa, like, oh my God, you know what? Let's not with the kids. Like, you know what? Let's stay on vacation a week longer.
Yeah.
Is that the life you want?
Yes.
And that booking paid for the vacation.
Yes.
It's magic money, right? It's like you turn on a faucet and water, instead of water coming out, it's money, right? It's like,
right. And you're not saying, I say this again, someone is going to say, but I don't want to do X. I don't want to do Y. I'm going to stop you if you say, I don't have anything I can teach, or I don't know how to do. I'm going to stop you there because you're selling yourself short. As Black people, we don't get to this age in life without knowing how to do a skill that someone will pay us for, whether that's braiding hair. Our course, I'm going to say this again, our course creator, her number one student teaches people how to cook eggs, and not like how to make an eggs Benedict the way that they did it back in France in 1964. No, he's like, this is how you boil an egg. Her number one student says, today we're going to boil an egg. This is how you boil an egg. Number two, this is how you fry an egg. I'm going to show you how to fry an egg. Bank. Bags of cash. Bags of cash.
That's right.
So don't say you don't know how to do anything.
Yes. Because you know what? And that is so freeing right there, because you don't come out of the womb knowing how to do anything, right? You don't know how to do anything. You spend all these years in school, right? Because you're constantly learning. You get on a new job, you have to learn, the new lingo, or, who does what or whatever. So you figured it out, right? Enough for you to keep getting a check. So there isn't I can't learn a new language, or I can't learn a new skill, or I don't know how to do this. You didn't come out the womb learning anything, right? You didn't know how to drive. You didn't know how to walk. You didn't know how to talk, but you learned all those things.
Yes.
So You can do it.
Yes.
Mhm.
It
Yes.
is possible. It is possible. I'm trying to go back up to the top. I know there was a question. I think it was Marcus had a question. It was about moving to Europe and Ukraine. And I can't get to the question at the top, but I do remember reading it. And so, yes, there are, he wanted to know about the implications. Yes. So, in some countries, especially in Europe, right, because of the war in Ukraine, people, countries are prioritizing the relocation of those impacted, and it's causing delays in certain countries. If that is a country that you are interested in, for example, let's say, I don't know, maybe it's Italy or Portugal, definitely pipe in to see on the government's websites to see if there's information related to that. But I know in our, let's see, it was season 4, my chat with Paul Carrick Brunson on the Blaxit Global podcast. We did touch on this issue because he is having issues in London with getting the visa that he needs because of what's going on. So it is a great question. And I do want to make sure I called attention to that. There was a question about tickets. I was like scanning and trying to commit it to memory because this chat is like on fire.
Yeah, trying to keep up. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was trying, but I was like, I committed some of them to memory because it was like hard. But so there was one question about the tickets for the summit. And so whether or not that the 2020 and the 2021 replays would be available. So would you be able to explain that?
Yes. In 2020, the summit was largely about taking a sabbatical or moving abroad, about the logistics, right? And so a lot of you will want to see the previous summits sessions because they're talking about the logistics of the thing that you're trying to do, not just the money piece. So if you buy the all access pass to Exodus Summit 2022, you get the replays of Exodus Summit 2020 and Exodus Homecoming 2021. Those go out, I think 2 weeks before the summit, which is surprisingly soon, right? So you'll get your access to those replays once you buy your all access pass. You'll get access to those year's replays very soon so that you can also learn that stuff. Because especially the first year summit was very logistical. How to rent an apartment in a new country, how to get, you know what, the first thing I thought of is the session that we couldn't find anything for, and it was really sad. I really wanted, this is off topic, but I really wanted a session on how to get your job to approve a leave of absence. I talked to my friend in HR for 30 years. I think she worked in HR for 30 years. She says, oh, I've never approved a leave of absence for personal reasons, right? But it was very logistic. I don't know why that popped in my head, right? These jobs, they don't like us, okay? But the first year summit was very logistical about how to do things, how to travel with kids, how to school your kids while you're traveling or when you move abroad. So when you get the all access pass to Exodus Summit 2022, you get access to those replays so you can learn that stuff too. This year, though, all about the money. We're not talking about how to travel places. We're not talking about how to pick your destination. We're dialed in. This is money. You're going to come away from this summit knowing how to make the money to support your new life or your current life, right? Yeah. We're dialed in.
Exactly. So to that end, I know there was a question, what's the best saving modality one can use to safely yield interest outside of the stock market? That's a good question. Go ahead.
I think it's a great question, but I hate answering questions like that, right? Yeah. Because what's good for me might not be great for you, right? And so I'm always hesitant to say, like, Stephanie and I think, are two people who go out of our way to not say, this is what you should do. Me, that's more right. So Stephanie will tell you every once in a while, this is what you should do, every once in a while, but rarely. And it's something we usually feel strongly about because best for you isn't going to be best for me, right? That's right. So I don't know, Krishan, did you have an answer to that?
I was going to say the biggest thing, and I think it's the same thing, it's risk tolerance, right? So your risk and my risk is going to be different, and your good and my good is going to be different, right? And so I will say that, you know, it is proof positive that more millionaires are made in recessions than at any other time, because those are the people that, take advantage of the low prices in the stock market. And traditionally and historically, Black people, when the market gets down, when we get to points in recession, our knee-jerk reaction is to take it out because we see red. And so what I would encourage you to do is just to think about your risk tolerance and your reaction to anything that you have, because that's going to start to give you a clue to what your appetite is. But, like Roshida said, I think it's a hard one to give a short answer to a complex problem or issue or question. But definitely that method is the best litmus test to see how you react and what's personal for you.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I do remember seeing a question that was asking if the sessions we're talking about are available on both passes, the all access pass and the weekend pass. Yes, they are. We're going to have sessions that go into more detail. And so we're going to have a couple of sessions that go into more detail for the all access pass. So we're going to take two of the sessions and get deeper into them. For people on the all access pass, we're going to, I believe we have a happy hour, which we haven't announced yet, for the all access pass.
Yes.
We're going to get together. The all access pass gives you the interactive session. So we'll have more Zoom sessions. And that's the reason we have to limit it, because Zoom is like, listen, once you go over a certain number of Zoom attendees, Zoom is like, you must be a large corporation.
Corporation price.
Plan.
Zoom is like, and now
your bill,
right? We're like, slow down, baby, slow down. We just once a year we get a lot of friends. The rest of the year we don't know nobody. Like, chill, Zoom. So the interactive portions are what come in the year-long replay. The year-long replay is important. If you have the weekend pass, you have the replays of the sessions until November 21st. I believe that's 6 weeks. You'll have the replays of all of these sessions from this year. On the all access pass, you get 1 year of replays. So you have 1 year to go back and watch anything. Yes. I said it this morning in my video. I'm going to say it again. If you get the weekend pass, don't email me on November 20th talking about, I didn't get a chance to rewatch. Can you extend it? Because that's not fair to the people who bought the all access pass. We're not going to do that.
No.
We're not going to do that.
No. There's no session in this summit that's not worth the all access pass.
Oh, yeah. Every single session can get you your money back if you apply. And we are, if you don't know us, I'm Roshida, that's Stephanie. We are about action and implementation, not inspiration. Like, yes, go be inspired somewhere else, right? And then get inspired at the keynote on Friday night. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, come to take notes and make a plan. And figure out how you're going to make money. And you will have whatever you pay for that ticket back if you put it into action.
That's right. We've seen it. So this is our 3rd year of Exodus Summit, right?
Congratulations, first of all. That is,
believe it. Our 3rd year. So we've got 2 years of alumni out in the world, right, who have done the things that they've learned in the summit and then have been able to implement them and are now out living that new life. So we already know that it can be done, right? But you just have to come ready to put some effort into it, not just come and learn and say, oh, that was great, and then drop it at the door.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because it's all about, inspired action, right? Yes. You might get inspiration and you might look down at your toes and you're like, hey girls, I'm about to put y'all to work. Or you might hear something else and say, you know what? This house, every time someone comes in my home, I'm always getting compliments on my decor. Maybe when I take my next vacation, I'm going to list my house on Airbnb, right? It's inspired action, but without the action, you're just being a passive participant. And those days are over, right? We're about making moves.
Yes, absolutely. We don't have any guarantees in life, right? We don't know how much more time we're going to get. So we want to live like it, like live like we know that this is going to come to an end at some point. This is not the dress rehearsal, right?
No.
This is the life. This is not a prep for life. This is
Exactly.
life. We want to live it, and you can live it in a 360-degree circle. You don't. Right now, a lot of us in the United States live our life just in this little piece of the pie that is job, right? Job and other people's obligations, other people's commitments for us. But you can have a full life. You can have a full life, and you can do work and make money in a way that feeds every other part of your life, that lets you live and thrive and feel joy and try new things and rest, right? You can do all of these things. You don't have to just stick to a life that is work-centered, work-focused. We don't do that. We're not into it.
Nope.
No. Unapologetic and unbothered.
Mhm.
I think we're getting towards our last question. So, and then for some of y'all, we didn't get a chance to answer those questions. But if you're looking for specific questions to help you on your move abroad, each of these ladies, in addition to this fabulous conference, also do coaching, or you can come into the Blaxit Global Passport community. There are abundance of resources and education between the heavy hitters you have here and the heavy hitters that you're going to have at Exodus Summit. So no question really will go unanswered, but it may not get answered in this live. So how do you know when to continue pursuing a new income stream or choosing to move on to a different opportunity? I'm asking because I do not want to give up on possibilities too soon. That's a great question.
That is.
As a person who's given up on income streams, I would say if it's something that you didn't want to do anyway, I think this is something people don't talk about, right? I didn't want to do it anyway. I'm failing at it. I didn't even want to do it. Child, leave it alone, right? Put more of your time and your attention into the thing that you actually did want to do in the first place. That's where I went wrong, right? I'm trying to build a virtual assistant business. I didn't want to do that.
That actually is my answer. My answer was going to be, until Stephanie stole it and said it first. My answer was going to be, if you don't enjoy it and it's not bringing you money, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? Right? If you don't enjoy it, but it's like, but I get a boat every month, right? Like, I buy a new yacht a month, but I don't enjoy it. I'm not going to be mad at you for pursuing it. I understand. But if you're like, I hate it and I'm broke,
yeah,
it's time.
Yeah.
There are too many different ways to make money to do something you don't like.
There you go. I mean, there's no shortage of ways to make money. And look, if you're doing something you don't like and you're making bank, well, then you can hire somebody who does love doing that, right? And then they do the work and you still get the money, right? There's so many different ways in which you can get to the end goal in mind. But it is, I would say, and that's what I love about what you ladies do, it is surrounding yourself with the people who are going to provide you with the information to afford you the opportunity to be in community with people who are like-minded, who are chasing after or going after the thing that they want. When so many of us, when we are taking this step to move abroad, oftentimes we're the first in our families to do so. And that can be very lonely, right? And lonesome. It can bring up different emotions, particularly when we have to interact with the outside world that has its own, stereotypes and opinions and old, beliefs that are floating around and conditioning, right? So it's getting rid of those old tapes and being around people who are going to speak life into you, to give you new information, to encourage you to do the thing that was the scary thing that you didn't think that you could do, but wanted to do. So that is, I think, the power of, Exodus Summit and the lovely community that you both have built.
We agree wholeheartedly. Thank you. Our community is a wonderful place of Black women on the move, right, and in support of each other. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a wonderful place. Thank you.
Definitely.
Yeah. So as we close, because I promised, oh look, there's Ashley. Ashley in Africa is here. Hey, Ashley.
Speaking of speakers,
Right?
Ashley's teaching a session on starting a business abroad. Ashley's
Oh, awesome. Very awesome, y'all. And follow Ashley in Africa, her YouTube channel. Ashley, I'm going to tell them now. Ashley's going to be on season 5 of the Blaxit Global podcast.
Wonderful.
So make sure y'all tune in top of the next year.
Yes.
So yeah, that is awesome. Yes, she is amazing. I love her stuff. So before we close, what I want to tell the people again is to get your ticket, right? Hopefully this discussion whet your appetite, and there's more to come, right? We didn't get to everything in this conversation. However, one important thing we want to know is, when does the summit take place?
Oh,
Yeah.
good question.
October 7th is our kickoff. And that's when we will have our keynote speech, our keynotes by Kirsten Saunders of Rich and Regular. And then the summit itself is all full day.
Mhm.
Block off your calendar, October 8th, 9th, and 10th. That is Saturday, Sunday, Monday. The Monday is Indigenous People Day, also known as that Dead Man from Across the Sea Day. And so
Sorry.
you weren't going to do no work anyway.
Not only working anyhow.
I couldn't hold it in.
That's right.
The man who got lost and they putting up statues of that man. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, right. Take the day off.
Yeah. Yes. Right. This is a weekend where you're going to come. Just block off the time. Just block off the weekend. Okay. You'll see the schedule over on the site. When you click on Krishan's link, you'll see the schedule. But just believe us. You're just going to want to block off the weekend.
And it's virtual only. It's online only. We do have a Facebook group that you can join if you have bought a ticket and you are a Black woman. Mm-hmm. But you don't need to be on Facebook. You don't need to be on any social media to attend it. It's it's happening off of social media on a different platform. It's an online platform, but it's offline. Krishan has more men in her audience than Stephanie or I do. If you are a man, we cannot stop you from buying a ticket, but we can stop you from joining in on the interactive sessions in the Facebook group. That's why we say online before you buy a ticket, it's for Black women only. Mm-hmm. It's for Black women only. If you want to learn about selling pictures of your feet, we ain't hating, right?
We're not mad at you.
We get it.
Yes. And I just announced, y'all probably saw the post, the men's group, Blaxit Global has a men's group that's kicking off. So I know the brothers, they have been anxiously waiting this announcement. And so Michael Ruth will be spearheading that. He will be leading those sessions. Michael Ruth was a popular episode from season 4. So definitely, if you see that post, fill out the survey, because those are the people that I will contact. If you are not a member of Blaxit Global Passport, or you do not answer the survey, you will not get the information in the link, but it's going to be very, very powerful and impactful. So there you go for the brothers.
I'm so glad you're doing that, Krishan, because then now we have a place to send them in.
Yesterday during your live, Stephanie, where you're like, Krishan has a group. I feel like that was time means nothing, but I feel like that was just yesterday. Krishan was like 10.
Yes. They will have their group, own community, because I think the thing that underscore is like, psychological safety, which is something that has not been afforded to us as Black people, especially in this country. And so it definitely was sitting on my heart to make sure that Blaxit Global affords safe spaces, and in that wanted to make sure that guys had a space to talk about the topics that are unique to them in their walk, just like we have. So I'm excited for that, but excited as well because all the people that I've been, gently suggesting for speakers for Exodus Summit are going to be there. So I'm going to be fangirling out, in the comments with all of y'all. So I hope y'all take advantage of, getting the ticket. And if you have your ticket, let somebody else know who you think would benefit from the information or want to move abroad. Give them the link. If you already got your ticket, that's okay. Take my link, give it to them, right?
Don't
We
keep it to
want
yourself.
representation. We want representation because you have over 1,000 tickets sold or 1,000.
Yes. We're well over 1,000 attendees already. Yeah,
Wow.
we're expecting it to be a good turnout. We're expecting a few months after this summit, we will see Black women out the door. And just like before, who was it? The Atlanta Journal-Constitution who contacted us like, where are all these Black women going? Right? It's going to happen again. All right.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
get in on it. You don't want to be left. You don't want to be left like, oh, y'all did this without me. We've invited you. Okay.
Yes.
Use
Yes.
Krishan's link.
Exactly.
You have a space. You have a safe space with us to hang out and talk about making your dreams come true.
Yes. And so I saw a couple people that said they joined late. And yes, definitely check the replay, leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to my channel. It helps me grow. Looking forward first of all, as we close, I want to thank you both for your time, your energy, your enthusiasm, and of course, the hard work. I know it's the H word, but there is a lot of hard work that goes into putting on a phenomenal summit for so many, but the impact is something that is really something that will change and is changing. It's changing people's lives on a cellular level. It's changing generations to come. That is the impact. And so I definitely want to make sure that I convey to you my deep gratitude as somebody who is, a fan of both of you. I've had you both on the podcast. I look forward to being in the comments and supporting, and definitely want to encourage everybody, get your ticket. This is the ticket. Get the money to move abroad.
Use Krishan's link. Get that ticket. We're waiting for you. Your family's waiting for you.
That's right.
Exactly. Don't be left behind, right? Because I'm out of here next year.
That's right.
My crook. If I gotta start polishing these toes, I don't care. I'm up out of here. Okay.
You're gonna see Krishan's knee on the internet. You're doing whole toe to knee photos, making all the money. Making $1 million a year.
That's right. Thank you so much for having us, Krishan. Again, always a pleasure. We love talking to you and love talking to your community. Thank you. We appreciate the work that you're doing as well. And we can't wait to see you in the summit.
All right, y'all. This is it. See y'all later. Thank you. Talk to you.
Bye.
Bye.